Imagine opening your suitcase at home and finding a little treasure chest of Spanish flavors inside. From melt in your mouth cured meats to addictive sunflower seeds to the classic Christmas turrón. Even a simple tin of fish can take you right back to Spain with the first bite. So you came to Spain and fell in love with the food. Maybe it was the tapas, maybe a proper meal at a restaurant, or just a simple snack that won your heart. In today's video, we are going to help you pick a few very typical items you can find at the supermarket and take back home, so your love affair with Spanish food doesn't have to end when your trip does. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hello and welcome to the channel where we want you to be happier traveling through Spain and Portugal with the help of our self-guided walking tours. We've been wanting to record this video for so long, and we are doing it thinking in particular in those that, like us, find pleasure in the little culinary discoveries made during their travels around the world. Here are some of the criteria we used for our selection of products. The products should be typical Spanish foods, should be easy to find, should be easy to transport, and for that reason we discarded large items such as an entire cured ham. Although you will see endless meters of supermarket corridors occupied by them, we have not included wine or olive oil, both staples of the Spanish diet, but a bit tricky to carry home. Not impossible, but a bit tricky. And we haven't included anything that needs to be kept refrigerated. So sadly, anchovies or cheese didn't make the cut either. Now, a quick note for our Aussie and Kiwi friends. We know how strict the biosecurity rules are when you fly back home, and rightly so. If that's your case, why not buy these treats anyway and enjoy them during your stay in Spain? So let's go shopping together. The list of Spanish food treats starts now in alphabetical order. You came to Spain, ate paella, fell in love, and now you are determined to recreate it back home. And to do that, you will need the right kind of rice. Bomba rice, arroz bomba in Spanish, literally bomb rice, is one of the varieties most commonly used for paella. It's a short grain, round rice that soaks up more broth than most other types. Unlike sushi rice, it won't turn sticky when cooked. And unlike arboreal rice, it doesn't thicken the broth. So if paella or any other type of local rice dish is calling your name, don't forget to pack the main ingredient. Which brand should you buy? No need to stress. If it says bomba on the package, you're good to go. You'll find it easily in supermarkets all year round. And here's a tip. The bags are suitcase friendly, but just in case one bursts open, tuck them inside a plastic bag. Otherwise, your luggage might end up looking like it just hosted a wedding rice throwing ceremony. If you want to prepare a good paella, it's not just arroz bomba you will need. Saffron, azafrán in Spanish, is just as important. In fact, it's what gives paella its unmistakable golden color and unique flavor. After Iran, Spain is one of the world's leading saffron producers, and Spanish saffron is highly prized. In shops, you will see two main forms: powdered saffron and saffron threads. We call them hebras. The ground version is cheaper, but the real deal, the one chefs swear by, is the threads. A quick tip: try to make sure you're buying a Spanish brand, not a cheaper import of a lesser quality. Saffron is incredibly easy to transport. A tiny jar or box will disappear into your suitcase. The only challenge: the price. Saffron is sometimes called red gold for a reason. Keep a defibrillator handy when you check the price tag. We're now entering a section of the supermarket whose importance cannot be overstated. Canned fish territory. Conservas de pescado, as we call them in Spanish. We Spaniards eat more canned fish than most other Europeans, and the Spanish canning industry is a market leader. At home, we always keep a stash of cans, and what you see now on the screen is just a sample of what we have at home right now. The selection in a Spanish supermarket can be overwhelming. Beyond all kinds of fish, you will also find scallops, mussels, cockles, razor clams, and yet more delicacies such as calamares en su tinta, squid in ink sauce. Every now and then we still stumble on something new that makes us go, oh, we didn't know that existed. A quick health tip: whenever possible, go for products preserved in olive oil instead of sunflower oil. They taste better and are generally considered healthier. So, what should you take home in your suitcase? Here are some of our favorites. Atún, tuna, is the king of canned fish, taking up endless supermarket shelves. Look out too for its noble cousin Bonito del Norte, albacore or longfin tuna, which is particularly prized when fished off the northern coast of Spain. Within tuna, try to spot ventresca de atún, the fatty tuna belly known in Japan as toro. It's silky, delicious, and usually expensive. Don't be shocked if you find cans with an anti-theft alarm attached. Melva, frigate tuna, another tuna variety, is very tasty and very Spanish. And caballa mackerel is a personal favorite, perfect with a salad or simply on toast. Sardinillas, small sardines, are delicate, full of flavor, and a true classic snack. If you like fish and seafood, Spain will spoil you for choice. And the good news, canned fish travels well. Just don't leave it baking in a hot car or a suitcase for days, otherwise your souvenirs might turn into science experiments. And from one massive section of the supermarket to another gigantic aisle, this time devoted to curados, Spain's cured meats. If canned fish is a cornerstone of the Spanish shopping basket, cured meats stand shoulder to shoulder with it. These aren't just special occasion treats. A few slices of jamón, chorizo, or salchichón sneak into everything. A kid's sandwich, a quick tapa, a family get-together. One stroll past this counter and you will instantly see and smell why we Spaniards are so proud of our cured meats, of its variety, the craftsmanship, the centuries of tradition behind every region. To keep things simple, we'll focus on two classics you can easily take home. The first one is jamón curado, cured ham, a product of almost sacred status in Spain. As we said at the start, you cannot realistically carry an entire ham leg in your luggage, but neatly packed slices are another story. Light, easy, and outrageously tasty. Faced with a wall of options, look for the magic word Ibérico. That label means the ham comes from the famed black Iberian pigs, prized for their marbling and flavor. If you spot the label Jamón de Bellota 100% Ibérico, that's the Rolls Royce. Free-range pigs fed on acorns, melt in your mouth quality, and a price to match. Unless you are a serious ham aficionado, a more modest Ibérico will still blow your mind. And then it's fuet, a slim, dry cured sausage from Catalonia covered in a natural white mold. It's mild, subtly spiced, and dangerously addictive. You start slicing just a little piece, and suddenly half the stick is gone. The skin is edible, but whether to peel it or not divides households, ours included. And this is just the beginning. There's salchichon, chorizo, lomo, the list goes on. If cured meats are your thing, Spain is an endless playground. Try as many as you dare. Although supermarkets often store cured meats in the fridge, they travel surprisingly well unless you come to Spain in the middle of a heat wave. At home, we keep ours chilled, but always let it warm to room temperature for half an hour before serving. That's when the flavors really open up. And after all that savory deliciousness, it's time to give your sweet tooth some love. Spanish supermarkets devote just as much passion and shelf space to classic confections as they do to ham and tuna. Let's start with a bite-sized legend, marzipan. If you've wandered through the magnificent Toledo, you've probably seen shop windows full of delicate little figures made from almond paste. That's marzipan, Spain's answer to marzipan. It's one of the country's oldest sweets, with roots going back centuries, and Toledo proudly claims to be its spiritual home. Some of the pieces of marzipan on display are true works of art. Marzipan is essentially almonds and sugar, sometimes with a touch of egg to bind it. The magic is in the texture, smooth, slightly chewy, and rich with almond flavor. In shops you will find bite-sized shapes or bars you slice at home. For travelers, it's a dream souvenir, light, tidy, and no refrigeration needed. In Toledo, marzipan is available year-round. Elsewhere, supermarket shelves really overflow with it in the run-up to Christmas. Suitcase tip: pack it somewhere you cannot see it during the trip back. Otherwise, you risk just tasting one piece and arriving home with an empty box and a guilty smile. Time to pivot back to something savory. If jamón is cured pork, think of mojama as its seafaring cousin. Salt cured tuna, sliced thin, loaded with flavor and very much an acquired taste. This delicacy has ancient roots along Spain's southern Atlantic coast and part of the Mediterranean coast as well, where tuna has been salted and air-dried since Roman times. A drizzle of good olive oil and a few almonds and you've got an appetizer worthy of a seaside taverna. In supermarkets, you will usually find mojama vacuum-packed in thin slabs or pre-sliced trays. No whole fish to wrestle with, just ready-to-eat umami. It's dense, so a small pack goes a long way and the shelf life is generous. Buying tip: if you see the words mojama de Barbate or mojama de Isla Cristina, you are looking at two of the most respected varieties from Andalusia. And a suitcase tip: when it comes to travel, mojama behaves a lot like cured ham. Some shops keep it chilled, but a sealed pack usually makes the journey home just fine unless you are here in the middle of a heat wave. Slip the pack inside a zip bag. Salt crystals love to wander, and you do not want your clothes to smell like a Cadiz fish market. After all those savory delights, it's time to treat yourself literally. Let's turn to a classic Spanish sweet, obleas. Obleas are ultra-thin baked sheets, usually just flour and water, sometimes with a touch of egg or sugar. They have a delicate, neutral taste that makes them incredibly versatile. Enjoy them on their own or pair them with honey, jam, soft cheeses, or creamy fillings in regional desserts. They are also used to line or top confections like certain nougats and monastery sweets. Definitely not sacramental hosts, but made with a similar wafer technique. The catch: obleas are easy to start eating and very hard to stop. Traveler's tip, they are light, don't need refrigeration, and pack beautifully. Just make sure you tuck them somewhere safe, probably your carry-on luggage. Otherwise, your suitcase might turn into a mini oblea disaster zone. And after all those sweet treats, it's time to swing back to something savory. Let's start with a Mediterranean superstar that never fails to appear on Spanish tables. Olives, known in Spanish as olivas or aceitunas. Aceitunas are an absolute favorite in Spain as in many other Mediterranean countries. They are versatile, flavorful, and come in endless varieties, green or black, pit or stuffed with peppers, anchovies, and many other foods. In Spanish supermarkets, you will find them in cans or in jars, making them easy to grab and carry. No refrigeration is needed for short-term travel, and they are light enough to slip into your suitcase alongside other goodies. A quick tip: try a few different types while you are here in Spain. You might discover a new favorite that's completely different from what you get at home. And speaking of adding flavor to your Spanish culinary haul, let's move from the briny goodness of olives to the smoky punch of Pimentón de la Vera. This red condiment is another staple that instantly transforms everyday dishes into something unmistakably Spanish. Pimentón de la Vera is a red powder spice, what English speakers would call paprika, but it's far more than a simpler coloring agent. In Spanish cuisine, it's essential. Pulpo a la gallega, chorizo, stews, roasted vegetables, many iconic dishes simply would not exist without it. The very best pimentón carries the seal of the Pimentón de la Vera denomination of origin, produced in the Extremadura region. Look for that label if you want authenticity and that unmistakable smoky flavor. It comes in three main varieties: sweet, bittersweet, and spicy, so you can pick one to match your taste and maybe bring home 2 or 3 for experimentation. A little tip for using it at home: sprinkle it over roasted potatoes, scrambled eggs, or even simple roasted vegetables. Just a pinch can instantly transport you back to Spain. And the best part for travelers, it's sold in adorable little tins, light and compact, perfect for slipping into your suitcase without adding weight or risking a paprika explosion. From a smoky paprika to something crunchy and addictive, we're moving on to 2 iconic Spanish snacks that are hard to resist: pipas and quicos. Pipas are probably the most popular snack in Spain. A packet contains roasted and salted sunflower seeds, perfect for munching anytime, anywhere. Learning how to eat them efficiently is a skill most visitors don't master. We Spaniards open pipas with our teeth at high speed, but then it's a technique honed over years of practice. Choose salted pipas for that authentic Spanish flavor. You will spot pipas taking up incredible amounts of supermarket shelf space, usually alongside nuts. And the best part, they are lightweight and travel friendly, easy to slip into your bag for snacking on the go. Next up, quicos. You will also see it spelled with K, also known as maíz tostado. These are roasted corn kernels and in Spain are almost as popular as pipas. Like their sunflower seed cousins, they are often served in bars as a snack with beer, a little salty, a little crunchy, and completely addictive. And just like pipas, quicos are easy to carry in your suitcase, so you can bring a taste of Spain bar culture back home without the risk of crumbs everywhere. After all that crunchy snacking with pipas and quicos, it's time to satisfy your sweet tooth with another classic. Tortas de aceite, literally oil cakes, are a traditional delicacy from Andalusia, still made today much like they were a century ago. Think of them as crisp, slightly crumbly olive oil wafers. round, handcrafted, with a delicate hint of anise and other top quality ingredients. They are a little like large, airy cookies, perfect with a cup of coffee or a sweet snack on their own. One of the most traditional and highly regarded brands is Inés Rosales, known for using premium ingredients. Generic supermarket brands can be hit or miss, so it's worth buying a few to try and see which you prefer. Tortas de aceite come in the classic version, as well as a variety of flavored options. Choose according to your taste or grab a few different ones to try them all. Suitcase tip: they are sold in plastic packages, each torta wrapped individually in wax paper to help preserve them. They are delicate, so treat them like mini treasures. Carry-on luggage is your safest bet, just as we recommended earlier for obleas. Spain accounts for up to 40% of the world's truffle production, especially the prized black truffle, tuber melanosporum. While the price tag may look intimidating, in Spain you will pay far less than you would in many other European countries. But if buying the real thing feels too indulgent, or your kitchen isn't exactly set up for Michelin-level cooking, there is no shortage of truffle-infused treats. Oils, butters, cheese, and spreads bring that unmistakable earthy aroma into everyday meals. One of our favorites is La Chinata, a Spanish delicacy brand with its own shops in many cities. Their truffle spreads, blending truffle with blue cheese, mushrooms, or even mayonnaise, are spectacular on toast or folded into scrambled eggs. After earthy truffles, let's close the list on a sweet, festive note. Few foods say Spain as loudly as turrón, and while it is rooted in Christmas tradition, it is far too good to save just for December. We end our tour with a quintessential Spanish delicacy, turrón, the country's classic Christmas treat. Traditionally, it's a simple mix of honey or sugar, plenty of almonds, and sometimes a touch of egg white. The two basic types you will come across are turrón blando, soft, also called turrón de Gijona. Toasted almonds are finely ground into a paste and blended with honey, sugar, and egg white, creating a smooth, melt-in-the-mouth bar. And turrón duro, hard, also known as turrón de Alicante, whole toasted almonds set in a clear honey sugar syrup, often between thin wafers. Crunchy, classic, and mind your denture if you choose this one. Beyond those, modern shelves are full of creative variations, even flavors dreamed up by celebrity chefs. Top supermarket brands you will find include 1880, Antioquia Gijona, De la Viuda, El Almendro, El Lobo, La Fama, La Casa, and Suchard, all reliable choices. Shelves start filling in November, peak in December, and drop to clearance prices in January, perfect for bargain hunters. Visiting outside the Christmas holidays, no problem. Over the past decade, dedicated turrón shops have popped up in big cities. The Catalan maker Vicens stands out, producing both traditional bars and chef-designed gourmet flavors that can be downright mind-blowing. And yes, a little pricey as well. On the screen, we are showing the unpacking of some of our most recent Vicens finds. They are a terrible sweet temptation, and we only bought them for this video, but then we will have to eat them, won't we? Travel tip: turrón comes in a solid bar-like form, think chunky chocolate bar, so it's suitcase friendly with minimal risk of breakage. It isn't just a wonderful Spanish souvenir for yourself, it makes a spectacular present for friends and family. 100% success guaranteed. Just keep chocolate-based versions out of direct heat if you're traveling in summer. A word of warning, turrón may be small, but its calorie count is mighty. Consider it a sweet souvenir of Spanish indulgence. As you can see from the cart we've been filling up, we've truly taken you on a little supermarket safari today. We hope you've enjoyed this trip around the ales as much as we enjoyed picking out our favorite Spanish treats. Whether it's saffron for your next paella, a bar of turrón for your coffee table, or a jar of olives to share with friends, these are the kind of simple foods that let the memories of Spain follow you home, bite after bite. And if you are already in Spain, why not stop by your nearest supermarket and see what treasures you can find? And if you've brought some of these goodies back before or some others, we'd love to hear which ones were a hit in your kitchen or which ones disappeared before you even unpacked. On the screen you will now see a list of our other videos dedicated to food in Spain, full of ideas, tips and mouth-watering inspiration for your next adventure. See you in the next video, but don't blame us if your suitcase gets heavier next trip.